The new iPhone season is here, and the big question is the iPhone 17 Pro really different from last year's, or maybe just my iPhone 15 Pro Max, or just another way to spend $900 bucks? I've been nerding out on every spec review this week, and while I care about all of that, I know that this is the truth. Only a few of these things will actually change your daily life. So in this video, I'm sharing the top 3 iPhone 17 Pro changes, as well as a super simple framework, something that I personally use to help me figure out in just a few minutes whether an upgrade actually makes sense. If you're new here, my name is Mindy. Around here, we make tech less scary and way more fun. So if you're stressing about upgrades, you're in the right place. Let's have some fun. Apple upgraded a bunch this year, but these are the ones that you'll actually feel. And to keep things simple, we'll just cover the iPhone 17 Pro here, but if you care about all 4 iPhone upgrades, grab my quick guide in the link below. Number 1, the new A19 Pro chip. On paper, this thing is wow. It's got neural engines built straight into the GPU. So in human terms, when you're asking Siri to summarize your readings, or if you've got ChatGPT helping you out with your essay, it will just work smoother. But here's the skeptic in me. I think on the day-to-day, you will not feel this immediately. It's not suddenly like Instagram loads twice as fast. It's more about making sure that in 2 or 3 years from now, when AI is just baked into everything, that your iPhone 17 Pro doesn't choke. I think this is really going to make a difference for people who are using AI in their daily workflow. Number 2, the cameras. This is the real headline. The front camera now has 18 megapixel resolution. So for fellow creators out there who only film on the front camera just to make sure that you're in frame, this is a big deal. We're also getting center stage, a wider field of view on that front camera. Now here is the cool bit. You can hold your phone vertically and still take horizontal landscape shots. So if you're using the front camera a lot, like you're on Zoom on your phone or filming TikToks in your DOM, this front camera upgrade is the one you'll actually notice. Moving on to the back, the rear camera. Now all 3 cameras are now 48 megapixel for the first time ever, and they've upgraded them to fusion cameras, which means you're basically getting 8 pro lenses in that one phone. That is insane. We have the macro lens, 13mm, 24mm, 28mm, 35mm, 48mm, 100mm, and 200mm. Yes, 200 mils! Oh my god. So yes, the zoom. This year, it goes up to 8 times optical zoom, which is basically a 200mm lens, and that is that giant glass that people bring to concerts or sports. Now it fits in your phone, in your pocket. But yes, I know an iPhone still cannot fully replace that big ass lens. I mean, it's big and expensive for a reason, but the fact that Apple got a phone to hit 200mm, I think that's pretty incredible. And of course, they've actually thought about stability, because when you have a zoom that can zoom in that far, even the tiniest handshake looks massive. And that's why they added a new 3D sensor shift OIS system to keep things steady when you're zoomed in that close. But exactly how usable that is, I would love to test it out. And of course, they didn't forget about the pros in their Pro phones. There is new Pro formats like Genlock, ProRes RAW capture. These are things that most everyday users won't even touch. But as someone who just loves holding gear that can do that, it gets me really excited. Even though I probably wouldn't even shoot in ProRes capture because that storage is gonna be huge and I would rather save that for a proper camera. But I'm so curious, what are you gonna use the 8 times zoom lens for? A Taylor Swift concert? Maybe? Number 3, the design. Okay, deep breath. Apple switched from the titanium back to the aluminum design. And the reason? Thermals. This new aluminum alloy that Apple made is supposedly aerospace grade, and that is supposed to dissipate heat faster, better, which means there's less overheating, especially if you wireless charge a lot. A lot of us probably don't care whether it's aluminum versus titanium. What do we care about? Whether our phone is lightweight, whether it's hot or not. I do not like the new look. This time, Apple's gone for this bar that's around the camera bumper and this rectangle outline around the logo. It's very pixel inspired, but I mean, everyone's copying everyone these days, so. But honestly, even as a die-hard Apple fan, I still think it looks very clunky compared to last year's design or this iPhone 15 Pro Max. I just do not like the new design. Colors this year are silver, cosmic orange, and blue. And if you're like me, someone who's not into that chunky rectangle, the deep blue is the safest bet, and that would be my color of choice because it hides the shadows and the lines the best. I think silver would make the design pop the most, and not in a good way, but I think cosmic orange is going to be a popular choice just because it's so bold and it's just screaming out loud, and it's just something that everyone's going to notice at in a Starbucks. I'm still not sold on the look. Maybe it'll grow on me, but right now I am already missing the sleekness of my 15 Pro Max. But we will have to unbox it together to find out if we love it or not. But I suppose the real question here is, should we buy this new iPhone 17 Pro or not? So instead of waiting for the unboxing and the reviews that's gonna come and it's gonna be so overwhelming again, I'm sharing a fun little framework that I personally use myself to help me decide. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but at least it's a way to cut through all that noise. And if it works, amazing! If not, at least we would have gained you some clarity. I call these my 5 upgrade triggers. If your current phone fails on it, or if the new phone has some of it, then maybe it's time to upgrade. First off, battery. Because if your iPhone can't last a full day, that's already an upgrade trigger. For me, I usually test it by charging my phone to 100% in the morning when I start my day. Then I live my day as per usual, and at the end of the day, say about 10 p.m. Okay, no. Realistically 11 p.m. I'll check how much battery there is left, and on this specific day we were left about 20+%. And the thing is, if we're using the iPhone 15 Pro Max that is technically supposed to last us 1.5 days, then this might be a cause for concern. Another thing that I look at is the battery health. Mine's at about 87%. I would be very concerned if this drops below 80%. In fact, if you have Apple Care Plus and this number drops below 80%, you can get a free battery replacement from Apple. Next, performance. That is the tricky thing, because how do we measure performance, right? If your current phone feels buggy, laggy, that could mean that the computer inside your phone cannot catch up with whatever you need it for. I mean, this year's A19 Pro chip is clearly built for AI. The question here is, what are you using your phone for? And does this require the newer, faster chips that's built inside the iPhone 17 Pro? Perhaps you got your current phone when you're in uni and now you're at a tech company and you use your phone a lot for work. Then hey, if it's slowing down you, maybe upgrade. I personally would take a quick look into settings, battery, and see what are the apps that I use day to day. What are the ones that are draining my power? For me, it's YouTube, Telegram, the lock screen. The more accurate version would be looking at the last 10 days. It gives you a better picture on average what apps you're using the most that's draining your battery. Next up is storage. If you're constantly getting the storage is almost full message and deleting photos or apps just to take new ones or to download new stuff or just to use your phone, that is stress that you don't need. But here's the twist. I don't recommend upgrading your phone just for storage. For example, if you're on 64 gigs of storage and you're telling me, Mindy, I need to use this phone to film vlogs or TikTok, then yeah, jump to 256 gigs, 512 gigs, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. It will pay off eventually because it's for work. But if you are a casual user and if you already have 256 gigs and you're still facing that storage full problem, I would say take a pause, because simply upgrading to 512 or 1 terabyte just to stop this annoying message could just be a patch job. I mean, I personally ran into this problem until I built a proper storage workflow, and that involves a little bit of iCloud, external hard drive, and it's just way cheaper than buying a new phone just for extra storage space. I'll flash that system right here, right now, if you want to copy it. This full workflow deserves its whole video of its own, so if that's something you want, drop a comment below and we'll fast track that video. Moving on to the nice to haves, the cameras. My iPhone 15 Pro Max cameras are already pretty amazing. So is the iPhone 16 Pros. However, if you are a creator who needs the best quality, or you just care so much about having the best photo quality to capture the moments in your life, this this would now be your upgrade trigger because the new Pros are pretty incredible. However, I need to point out that contrary to popular beliefs about creators or YouTubers, I personally do not like shooting on my iPhone for work. I like using the fancy cameras like this, but I have to say, the best camera is the one you have with you at all times. And sometimes in random moments of needs, I just can't help but whip out my phone and just film. It is just so amazing that I would have access to it right in my pocket. And finally, the last trigger. I saved this for the fun stuff, the new features. These are the things you don't even know you need until you try them. Last year, I think it was the 4K 120p video recording on the iPhone 16 Pro, and the year before that, it was the action button. And this year, for me, the fun new stuff is the front camera with the center stage and the 8x optical zoom. Now, these fun features won't keep my phone alive, but they do make life more joyful, and honestly, sometimes joy is enough of a reason. So yep, for the nerds out there, think Maslow's pyramid, but for iPhone, the essentials first and the fun stuff later. So yeah, that's just a fun little framework. But honestly, sometimes even with all of that, I still can't decide. That is when I bring in girl math. What I've learned is do not underestimate girl math. In fact, I'd like to call this nerd math. Here's how it works. Instead of asking, hey, should I upgrade? We'll reframe it to, how much am I actually paying for this upgrade per day? Let's say the iPhone 17 Pro is $1,900 in Singapore dollars. And if I get to sell my iPhone 15 Pro Max for $1,000 in the secondhand resale market, that means I'm paying $900 out of pocket just to upgrade. If I keep the new phone for a year, that is $900 divided by 365 days, which is about $250 a day. So I would ask myself, does $2.50 per day feel worth it for that 200mm zoom in feature in my pocket? Using nerd math, it doesn't give you the answer. It just reframes it. $1,800, $1,900, $2K, it feels massive. But $250 a day, that's basically an ice copy. We are basically shrinking that big $2,000 decision into trade-offs that you can actually feel. And you don't have to worry about the math. In fact, I built a 20-second calculator so you can run the exact same numbers for yourself. And I would love to know what your nerd math number was. Was it worth it for you to upgrade? Are you upgrading? Drop all your answers in the comments below. I'll read them all and reply to as many as I can. Now, the way it all plays out would really depend on who you are. For example, if you're a fellow creator, if your phone is your workhorse, filming TikToks, Reels, planning content, $250 a day for that new front-facing camera with that center stage is an easy yes. If you're a power user, for example, I had a uni friend who literally did all their readings on their iPhone. So for people like that, the math is simple. Is $250 a day worth it for smoother multitasking and a battery that doesn't die during back-to-back zooms? Then probably yes. And then there are casual users, people like my mom, who maybe uses their phone to scroll Instagram, TikTok, watches Netflix, YouTube. If your current phone works fine, then you don't need to spend the extra $1 a day just to flex a new color. Unless, of course, you've got the cash to burn or that beautiful cosmic orange is calling your name. Quick tip right here, if we're talking about math, never trade in your phone to Apple or any telcos because you'll almost always get better resale value on something like Carousel, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, whatever that's popular where you live. For me, if you don't know already, I've decided to upgrade. But I'm going smaller this year. I'm moving from a Pro Max to the new Pro because I want to experiment with a smaller, more portable phone, and I've been using the iPhone 15 Pro Max for 2 years now. I think it's the perfect time to sell and upgrade. And yeah, I still do not like the new rectangle boxy design, but I think the deep blue will hide it enough for me. Remember, this isn't about what I do, it's about what makes sense for you. Honestly, I don't really care if you upgrade, I just care that you're happy with your choice. Before you go, if this helped, there's just one more iPhone choice that secretly affects you every single day. Case or no case. This choice is gonna affect you every single day, way more than titanium versus aluminium, and you can watch this video right here. I'll see you very, very soon. Take care, stay maintained, cheery, goodbye!